If you're looking to become the #1 roofing contractor in your service area, then stick around and I'll show you exactly what the fastest growing roofers we work with across the US are doing right now to capture more market share and to scoop up nearly all of the best customers in their local markets. Let's hit it. Hey, it's Mike, and today I'm going to give you a sneak peek behind the curtain of what the fastest growing roofers across the US are doing to drive more business day in and day out. Now, every week we talk with dozens of roofing businesses ranging in size from sub $1 million all the way up to 8 figures plus in annual revenue. And interestingly enough, when we ask them what the single biggest challenge in the business is, it's always the same response, regardless of the size of the company. We need more leads. All right, if you're watching this video, then I'm guessing you could use more leads as well. Well, the good news is we've been solving this problem for our roofers for over a decade. And during that time, we've discovered something pretty interesting. And that's that over 90% of all jobs awarded to a roofing company in this day and age are coming from just 3 particular places online. Yep, literally just 3. Now, as we've watched this trend evolve, we've actually been able to increase our clients' return on marketing investment many times over by shutting down the vast majority of marketing activities they were investing in. Okay, now you heard that right. The more lead gen efforts we stopped doing, the more profitable the business became and the faster they were able to grow. All right. Now, as the number of shared lead services continues to grow, we've only seen this trend continue. So before I tell you about the 3 places our fastest growing clients are investing in to scale their business, let me first tell you what our roofers have stopped doing and why. Now, if you want to get more profitable literally almost overnight, then take a close look at these things. If you're investing in them now and not seeing a return, then you might want to shift some of your marketing budget to the Magic 3, which I'll talk about in a moment. All right, but first, these are a few of the typical marketing strategies that our most successful clients have stopped investing in and why. First off, SEO, search engine optimization. All right, now full transparency here. Do we do SEO? Absolutely. Are we good at it? Yeah, we're actually really good at it. Do we do it for our roofers? Well, not until they've maxed out the Magic 3 placements that we're going to talk about shortly. And at this point, they're usually a high 7-figure business just looking to more firmly establish their brand in the marketplace, right? So SEO at this level is more of an awareness play. It is not a lead gen activity. All right, now here's why the vast majority of roofing companies should never invest in SEO as a growth strategy. Okay, to show you exactly what we're talking about here and to give you a more visual example, we're doing a simulated search for the search term roofing company near me, and we're simulating our location as being in Houston, Texas. We have some tools we can use to do real-time simulated searches so we can see like what comes up for as though we were searching in as a local customer in that area, because that's very, very important. So this is just a completely random example for this term in this area. And what you'll notice is at the very top of the page here, we have our ads listings, and then we have our GMB pages. And then below that, we have our SEO results. So these are the listings that were generated through search engine optimization over time. And what you're going to notice is that very, very important here. One, let's just scroll back to the top. One, very few people will ever even scroll down beyond the Google Ads and the GMB or the Google Maps listings. This is where the vast majority of jobs are going to be captured. The farther down, we're trained as human beings that the farther down we scroll on a Google search results page, the less relevant the listings become. Okay, so that's why we always, we typically will choose a business closer to the top of the page. By the time we get down here, typically people who are getting down in this area of the page in the SEO results, these are people who maybe are a little bit more price sensitive. They're shopping around. They contacted some of the businesses at the top of the page. And by the time they get down here, you know, they weren't happy with what they heard as far as costs and things along those lines. So a lot of times when they get down into these SEO results, they're price shopping. They're looking for the best deal. So they're typically not your best customers. That's one. The other thing you'll notice is, or the other thing to be aware of is that even with SEO, only page 1 search results matter. The reality is nobody is going to page 2 and beyond. They're doing a search. They're looking at the results on page 1. They're rarely scrolling down to the bottom of the page, but if they do and they don't find what they're looking for, they'll try a new search. They'll use a new search query
They'll get more specific with it. They are almost never going to page 2, right? We joke in the company that if you ever want to hide evidence of a crime, put it on page 2 of Google search results, because nobody's going to find it, right? So that's the other important point is, one, these results are lower on the page, so fewer people see them, and those that do are typically more price sensitive or shopping around. And then the other thing, only the results that even make it to page 1 matter. So with SEO, a lot of times you'll see companies will talk to you about, oh, we're ranked like 43 or 33 or even in the 20s. And like the reality is those listings might as well not even exist, right? You have to be in that top 10, the page 1 search results for it even to matter. And then the last thing here, or actually 2 more things. One, it's incredibly slow and very expensive to work on search engine optimization, okay? So it's not typically the strategies that we like to engage with our clients on are strategies that bring in new business today, or this month, this week, that you can track back to immediate return on investment for your business. You want to capture all of that new business that you can first before you start looking at these longer term strategies that bring in slow returns over time, okay? And then really, really important here is that, and I want you to pay attention here what you see, right? If you look here, just looking at these top 4 SEO placements, what do you see? You see Angie's List, which they're a shared lead company. They are literally spending probably hundreds of thousands of dollars a month to earn and maintain this listing here, okay? They have massive marketing budgets that they're investing in SEO, right? And the reason is because they're gonna go out, they're gonna get leads from this, they're gonna sell them. They're not gonna just sell them to one business, they're gonna sell them to multiple businesses, and that's their business model, right? You're looking at a manufacturer, GAF. They make shingles, right? They make supplies and shingles for roofers. They are huge, right? So you're competing against them. Again, they are investing massive amounts of marketing budget into these SEO listings because the top of page listings, they don't matter to them as much. They need to be seen down here, right? And then you've got Yelp, again, another like shared lead type company. Then you've got the Better Business Bureau, like how much authority do they have? How many pages and businesses do they have linking back to them? Their domain, not to get into the weeds or the technicality pieces of it, but their domain authority is huge. You will never, or you are going to be very, very, I don't ever say never, you're going to be very, very unlikely to beat any of these types of companies in the SEO game. So that means if you do get ranked and you do eventually crawl your way onto page 1, you're going to be below all of these companies, and you're going to see a very low return from it. We know because we used to do SEO for our roofing clients. We used to do it a lot. And what we realize is that it is literally the lowest ROI investment you can make when marketing your business. So we only do it for companies who have truly maxed out the high return placements first. Once you own all of the customers you can get from those placements, you're getting the highest return on your investment. Then is a branding and scaling strategy, and only then do you invest in SEO. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense. Hopefully this visual helps a little bit, and let's jump back in.
Okay, let's move on to the next marketing strategy we see our guys having real challenges with, and why. And that's shared leads. Now, here's the deal. If you're looking for price shoppers, prospects who don't know who you are when you call, or someone who had the job done 6 months ago, then maybe shared lead sites are for you. Okay, seriously though, these are the types of things we literally hear from the roofers we talk to on a daily basis. In my opinion, shared lead services are the worst. They create competition in the marketplace, right? In your market. And they profit by getting in front of legitimate businesses like yours and then scooping up the leads and then selling them back to multiple contractors all at once. Now, in many industries, roofing included, these services are driving up marketing costs and complexity for real businesses, and it's my projection that they're going to go by the wayside over the next decade. But now, smart businesses are waking up and moving away from relying on these services. And it's my personal mission to help good businesses control more of their own lead gen systems and to move toward an exclusive leads model, which we're going to talk about shortly. This allows them to charge fair pricing and to have more meaningful conversations with inbound leads, people picking up the phone and calling you directly. Now, in this day and age, there's no reason for you to have to chase down new business. If you're marketing things right, it will come to you. The business will literally come to you, okay?
All right, so real quick, just jumping back in here, let me show you real quick where the leads from the shared lead companies are actually coming from, because believe it or not, even the shared lead companies know you need to be on the front page of Google to get where the customers are, right? Let me show you where they're coming from and why it's important to know that, okay? The first thing to keep in mind here is the ads at this section at the very top of the page. These are the Google ads. This is where the vast majority of customers will come from. There's different variations of the ads. We could talk more about that in the future, and then you have your Google business page listings, your Google My Business page, or the Maps pack. Really, really important thing to note here is the Maps pack here, the Google Business. Only legitimate businesses can get in here, okay? So only real roofing companies can get in here. Google did this to make sure that legitimate businesses who want to take ownership of their marketing stand a chance and are able to get in front of customers who are looking for them. There's a lot of criteria they use to determine who to show in this first 3-pack and things along those lines. That's a video for a whole nother discussion, but just keep in mind that Google basically built this out as a way to help legitimate small businesses who want to take ownership of their marketing and show up and work on that. So really, really important. These shared lead companies cannot get in this section at all. They can get in the ads at the top of the page, but it's much harder, and they can only get in certain types of searches. Like they're not going to get in like the Google guaranteed results here, and they'll show up much less frequently in the paid placements than anywhere else. Okay, so usually, again, in the paid placements at the top, sometimes the lead companies will be there, but 9 out of 10 times you're not going to see them there. Again, this is another opportunity for legitimate businesses to get top of page placements. And as we touched on briefly earlier, the businesses who are closer to the top of the page are going to get the vast majority of the jobs, okay? The farther people go down the page, we talked about this, the search behavior changes. We're trained as human beings to believe that the choice at the very top of the page that Google shows us on page 1 search results is the best choice. So we always start at the top and we work our way down. The best customers are going to come from the top of page placement. They're going to be less price sensitive. They're going to be willing to, because they're looking at your business or a business individually, they're digging in, they're looking at more of it, they're researching, they're going to be reaching out to you directly. These are the places where you want to show up. However, the shared lead companies, in an effort to get in front of these same searches, regardless of quality, the places that they're going to show up the most are going to be right here below the Maps listings. So as we talked about, like these positions, these are based on search engine optimization. So these companies are investing lots and lots of money to show up in these places because it's really the only place they have an easy, quote unquote, easy opportunity to get in front of people who are looking. Now, as we know, by the time a prospect is searched this low on the page, it's normally because they've already reached out to the businesses at the top of the page, the legitimate businesses, and they have determined that they didn't like what they heard. They didn't like the pricing, they didn't like the time frame, they didn't like some things about the businesses at the top of the page, the legitimate businesses. So when they get to this point on the page, the people that get down here and are continuing to hunt and search and who are willing to put in their information to a shared lead site, they're typically, in my opinion and in my experience in seeing thousands and thousands of these come through, they're typically much lower quality. They're much more price sensitive customers. But if people who are getting down to this point of the page and willing to put in their information and have a half a dozen different businesses like calling them and fighting over their business, they're almost always looking for the cheapest. They're looking for the best deal, right? And that's what they're looking for. So these are the types of customers that come from here. So the key things to keep in mind is if you're relying on shared leads, those are the types of leads that you're going to get. So if you've maybe experienced this before, you've been paying for leads through a shared lead service and you're like, the quality stinks. Like we hear all kinds of weird things about like people have already had the job done, or they don't even know who we are or why we're calling. Like, this is why they're typically just less qualified, more price sensitive people, right? And they don't know the first thing about your business. When they go through a shared lead company, typically they're filling out a form, the company's selling that lead to you and all of your competitors, and they have no idea who you are. They don't know you from a hole in the wall, right? So really, really important to understand those are the types of people you're going to be getting. But so this is where the majority of those leads come from and why they're not as valuable as leads that are going to be finding your business directly in these top of page placements and then calling you directly, okay? Really, really important to understand that. Okay, let's jump back in.
Okay, so let's cover one more stop doing before we jump into the only 3 spots that actually matter. Now, next up, we have social media ads. All right, now here's the deal. Nobody is going to the Book of Faces to find a roofing company. You know what I mean? People use these platforms to, you guessed it, be social, to connect with people and to see what's up with their friends and family, right? Is it possible to get customers from these channels? Sure, but it's interruptive advertising, okay? So it's typically much, much less effective than just getting your business in front of people who are actually looking for what you have to offer. Make sense? Okay, so with that said, where are the best customers in your market looking to hire a roofing company like you? More specifically, where does your company need to show up to get these customers? Well, let me tell you, and this isn't a hunch, it isn't conjecture, it's fact based on us running ads for many of the fastest growing and most successful businesses across the US. Now, the most important placement for you to own is right here.
At the very top of Google page 1 search results in what's called the Google Ads placements, okay? These are the absolute best spots for a roofing company to be if you're looking to capture more customers. Now, keep in mind, these only come up when somebody searches for buyer intent keywords. And the way that we manage and run campaigns, we make sure that you're only showing up and you're only investing in showing up for those terms that are likely to result in a new customer, right? You want to be very careful about when you're setting up these campaigns to run these. There's a very specific strategy you want to follow to make sure that you're only showing up where buyers are looking. You don't want to be showing up when DIYers are looking up or people who are looking to solve problems with their roof or have questions about leaks or things along those lines. So we have developed over the last decade, we've actually developed what we call blueprints specifically for roofing companies to make sure that we're launching every single new Google Ads campaign with buyer intent keywords. We already know which keywords result in new customers, right? So this is literally the most important spot for your business to show up. And as you can see here, Reliable Construction, they're showing up with their top of page ad placement right here, okay?
Okay, so we've got that one. Now let's move on to the second most important placement. And believe it or not, it's literally just inches away from the first one. It's at the very top of the maps pack.
And going back to the same image we had before, if we scroll up just a little bit, you can see right here, this very top listing in the maps pack is a sponsored listing. You'll see that word sponsored. Basically, what we have been able to do is we're able to connect your Google Ads account with your Google My Business page once everything is set up properly, and it allows us to basically shortcut our way into the maps pack, okay? And it also allows you to get the very top placement in that position. As we've talked about previously, those positions closest to the top of the page bring in more customers, right? So the maps is no exception. The closer you are to the top of this 3-pack, sometimes it's a 4-pack when there's a sponsored placement like we have here, the better off you're going to be, the more customers that you're going to get. And again, when people get to those maps listings, they see your business at the top, they immediately assume that you are the best choice, and they're going to call your business. They're going to want to set up an appointment to get a quote for their roofing project. So this is the second most important placement.
All right, and one more. Not going too far here, you need to be showing up in the organic placements in the maps. We call this Google Monopoly. And when you get these 3 spots, a few things happen. First and foremost, you become the only and obvious choice in your market. You quickly become the business everyone else is chasing. Now, when you own this much of page 1 real estate, there's not much room left for the other players. Okay, so owning these spots puts you in a position to win, absolutely. But that's only the start. In another video, I'll show you the secret to converting 10 times more of that visibility into new business for your roofing company. But first, you have to own those spots. So hopefully this has been helpful. And if you'd like to talk with a member of our team and dig in a little bit more to see how we can help you start capturing more of the best customers in your market and transition to an inbound lead model, then I'd encourage you to book a free demo of the inbound service lead system by clicking the link on or around this video. There's nobody better at helping roofing companies dominate their local markets, and I can't wait for you to put this stuff to work in your business. We'll see you in the next one.